Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Let me get my screen sharing turned on. And again, I appreciate the kind introduction. What a beautiful voice to hear this early in the morning. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing absolutely sensational. There's a lot of you here right now. Just to make sure you all can hear me and see my screen okay, just type in a 1 if all looks and sounds good. There's almost 300 of you beautiful, fine humans here. In the chat pane, there's a little blue button that says all panelists and attendees. Make sure you click on that. Otherwise, I'm going to be the only people that will be able to see your chat. Because if it's on all panelists, Marissa and myself will be the only ones to see it. But if it says all panelists and attendees and everyone can see everyone's questions, just kind of throwing that out there. Wow, a lot of familiar names. I love it. My buddy Ash from London. What's going on, Ash? How'd you end the week, man? Hope you did phenomenal. Shirley Zook, thanks for being here. Adriano from Brazil. Java from Vienna. Hope you're doing phenomenal, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this particular presentation and all the presentations we've had. I just want to say thank you so much to Rob Hoffman and the Wealth365 team for allowing me to be here, and all the other presenters that gave such incredible information this preceding days, hours, weeks, webinars, seminars. Incredible. Learning so much. I love it. Man, I'm stoked. We're talking about the 3 hidden secrets of candlesticks that will make you more profitable. That is the discussion in today's presentation. You might see here a little magnifying glass has an extra candlestick at the end. A little bit of creative genius right there. Hope you guys like that. Amika says, good day. John says, all okay from Ontario, Canada. Yes. I love it. Let's make this happen. Again, Marissa gave me a brief introduction. This is stuff about me. My favorite movie is Forrest Gump. That is how I began to get intrigued into the U.S. stock market. You guys remember at the very end of the movie when when Forrest Gump walks to the mailbox and he opens the letter from Lieutenant Dan towards the end of the movie, and he says that Lieutenant Dan invested in a fruit company. We don't have to worry about money anymore. You guys remember that scene? Well, I was 7 when I first watched it with my dad, and I asked him what was the fruit company and what is investing, and he told me obviously about Apple, and then I finally convinced Dad to buy some shares of Apple, that was 1994 when Apple was about $1, and I saved up some money from picking blackberries, and he said that he would match me dollar for dollar for whatever I saved up. So I saved up about $1,500 that summer, and so we bought 3,000 shares of Apple, only to sell them about 4 or 5 years later for 3x, which at the time was amazing. I got about $9,000 as a 12-year-old and felt pretty phenomenal. But that's how I got interested in trading, was the movie Forrest Gump. Obviously, if I still had those shares that I bought as a 7 or 8-year-old, I would have over $14 million in Apple, which wouldn't be too bad. But nonetheless, let's dive in. That's a little bit about me. Here's the information I'll be using going forward. A lot of you use red and green candles. I use black and white candles. And I get a question about why often, which is a very valid question, by the way. Why do I use black and white versus red and green? Type in a 3 in the chat pane if you use red and green candles, and type in a 4 if you use black and white candles. So Mario, Scott, Pat, Alan, wow, yeah, a lot of you use red and green. And that's okay. We're probably 70-30. So 70% of you use red and green and 30% use black and white. The reason I use black and white is because I like to keep it, well, black and white. Meaning the red and green sometimes can be a psychological factor in your mind, because we were taught that green is good and red is bad, right? Red is negative. Red is losing, green is positive, meaning it's winning. I can trade in any direction. We can trade in any direction. I don't care if it's going up, if it's going down. As long as it's moving, I feel like we can take advantage of it. And in this particular presentation, I'm going to be covering my examples using black and white candles. So just throwing that out there. It means the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter what color you are using. I mean, you can truly use any color at any time, as long as you have an idea of, if you're using whatever color, just make sure you know which one's going up and which one's going down, right? So if you use yellow and maroon, make sure you know which colors are for which purpose. Chad says, red makes me panic. See, there you go. That's one person saying it. I think that's true. I think there's a lot of psychology built into some of the candles. So this is a really quick overview of candlesticks, just in case there's anyone out there who's not super familiar with candlesticks. I like to consider myself a candlestick specialist, and I will give you guys a really interesting viewpoint on the markets regarding candlesticks. I'm going to say a pretty ostentatious claim in the next 15 seconds. That ostentatious claim is this: if you want to truly master one thing in the market, I would highly suggest mastering candlestick charts and candlestick patterns. Because mastering candlesticks and the sentiment behind what a candlestick means will ensure your profitability in the stock market. Yeah, that's right. Candlesticks, they are massive. It's like learning a new language, right? If you're going to learn French or Italian or German or Portuguese or Mandarin, in order to learn that language, you got to learn the beginnings, the basics, the concepts, and build over time. But once you master the language, you become fluent. You can have conversations in that language, and you're able to read in that language most of the time, if you're fluent in it at least. If you can look at candlesticks, you're going to be able to read the sentiment of what people are thinking and why, what investors are thinking and why. And we're going to be using tons of examples in this presentation. So this white candle, you'll notice where it says open of the day. That is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever price it opens, right? So when a white candle is created on the screen, that means that the stock closed higher than it opened. And vice versa, with a bearish candle, the open is on the top, the close is on the bottom because the stock closed lower than the open, and then you have the low and the high of the day. So I think that's pretty much it. That's the basics. What is most important and what the candles mean is sentiment. I'm going to be using a lot of new words and new phrases in this particular presentation that most of you might have never heard before. And that is because, well, it was a secret until now. And this is something that I personally created. This is my philosophy and my opinion. I have read countless books on candlestick sentiments, many ebooks, many articles, watched numerous videos, and I personally believe that this is not given enough attention out there. So the most important part of candlesticks is sentiment. Don't worry about the names of which I will describe the candlestick pattern. What I mean by that is if you forget the name, but you remember why it's important, that's really the key. Sentiment is the most important aspect of stock charts. Learning candles is learning the language of human emotion. If you can properly read this language, you will become a better trader. Simple as that. This is the language of the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the language of the charts. So here's the first secret. Ready? I'm already diving in. This is it right here. I hope you got your notepads. If you're writing down notes, this is being recorded. Thank you, Marissa. You are awesome. Here's the first secret, my friends. The bottom of a long day bullish candle often acts as a great support. These long day candles often retrace some before continuing higher. That's actually two secrets. I like to under promise and over deliver. But the bottom or the open of long day bullish candles often acts as a great support. These long day candles often retrace before continuing higher. So this is just a little bit of an image, but obviously what I want to do is give you guys the secret and then go look at some real life examples. So go ahead and pick some stocks for me. First person to type in a stock, we're going to go look at that one and I'll show you some examples. Wally says, in Thinkorswim, there are 3 types of candlestick styles, i.e. one of them sounds like Hashinaki or something like that. Which candlesticks do you use? That's a great question. I do not use Hashinaki candles. These are just regular hollow candles. Eric was the first person who typed in Caterpillar. ticker symbol CAT. Caterpillar it is. So let's go check out CAT. So I'm gonna hop over to Caterpillar, and I'm gonna get Caterpillar pulled up, and we're gonna go look at this example. Oh, that's a very good question. One trader asks, what do you mean by a long day candle? All right, so if we come back over to the slide, I mentioned the long day bullish candle, long day. Let's talk about that in just a little bit. Very good question. So a long day candle, if I'm looking at this on Caterpillar, so this is just the daily chart. A long day candle, let me type it in really quick so you guys can have it. A long day candle simply is a candle that is, well, longer than the average candle on the time frame of which you are looking. AKA, it moves farther than, didn't spell it right, farther than other candles. So I'm going to point to one as an example. Let me turn off those moving averages. Hannah was asking about the moving averages. These are just the 100 and the 200. They're just on my screen. There we go. No, just candles. Looks good. Rich says, so you can measure that with an average true range. You absolutely can. Yes, totally. So this candle right here, type in a 1 if you can go, yeah, that candle has moved farther than the average candle. Wally says, for that candle, can you exclude the wick? Very good question. No, use the wick. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're welcome to use the wick. Great question. All right, so a lot of ones. Fantastic. Charles, Jerry, Carol, Paul, Java, Radishi, Ann, Alan, Jim. Wow, some good stuff. So yes, that candle has obviously moved farther. It's a larger candle than your average candle on the stock. And we're going to go back in time a little bit and look at it as well. But I'm going to zoom in here for just a second. I'm going to take off my drawings. I'm going to zoom in on Caterpillar just so you can kind of get an idea. And if we go back in time on Caterpillar right here, this is December 13th, by the way. December 13th. When you see that candle, very strong candle, you could say, literally, once you see that candle, you could draw a support level that looks like this. You could use the open, all right, the bottom of that candle. You could use the open of that candle as your really good support. And once you have that piece of information, what could you use that for? Oh, heavens. I mean, that could be a phenomenal place to put a stop, right? That could be a place where you do a bull put spread or a weekly credit spread or maybe sell some puts, whatever it is. But that singular candle just by itself, no other indicator, no other piece of information, literally just a candle, you could use that for extrapolating the sentiment of this particular chart. Trader says, does it apply to currencies? Yeah, that's what's cool about this particular candlestick. Candlesticks apply to any market. Doesn't matter if it's futures, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, options, whatever you're trading, you can use this information I'm teaching you for any market. It's phenomenal. Wally says, do you look at volume? You can. Sure, volume also helps, but just looking at the candle itself is also strong. Wow, so many good questions. Sue says, does it work for different time frames? Yes, it does. R says, is it only on up candles? Stay with me, R. Stay with me. Scott says, does it matter where it started or finished, or just that it has to be long? Very good question. So you want a long day candle represents a candle that has actually completed a long day of trading, meaning it doesn't look like this, where you have a small body and a giant upper shadow. Does that make sense, Scott? So you want a long day candle is a candle by definition that completes its rotation throughout the day and closes with a nice strong end of day. So you don't want some giant upper shadow on these candles. John says, what time frame is best for entry, or do you use the same time frame for entry and exit? Yes, same time frame for entry and exit. You can use the daily and the hourly. Some phenomenal questions, folks. We're going to get to a lot of those. And if there is any other additional questions, we got a lot of time at the end. Charles says, how much longer do you consider as long of a day? Usually just any candle that's larger than the average candle. So these candles right here, you'll see pretty much all average candles. All of these are just your average everyday candle. This is a big 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 candle. So any candle that's just simply larger. Looking at the chart, if you want to use average true range, someone mentioned that ATR. I would say ATR would be 1.5. So 1.5 times larger than the average candle. Sounds good. Rich was saying 1.2. So yeah, 1.5, Rich, is a good measurement. Patrick says, does it apply to the downside? I love it. You guys are already ahead of me. Yes, it does, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So remember, the second secret was these long day candles often retrace before continuing higher, which means if I'm looking at this bullish candle and I know, wow, very strong support. As soon as that candle comes in, again, you can draw a very good support. You're going to have a huge interpretation that this candle is likely going to retrace. It's going to pull back. So that means you should not be getting in at the very top of that candle. Once you see this candle, you can simply go, oh, what a phenomenal buying candle. What a great location to get in. This is a phenomenal support. I'm ready to get in. Let me plan for the retrace and buy there. So next day, look at that pullback. Look at that pullback, ladies and gentlemen. People taking profits. That is a retest. That is a dip buying opportunity. That's where you get in, and you simply place the stop below the low of the bullish candle. There you go. Stop below the bullish candle. You wait for the pullback, right? They often retrace. So if you know these long day candles retrace, pullback, retest, use a fib, whatever you want to use, whatever you want to say, whatever the term you want to use, this is a phenomenal dip buying opportunity. That's the dip buy, and we all know what happened to Caterpillar after that. Just scorched. And by the way, folks, that is before the run up in January. Look at this. Look at that. That's where we are right now. It's phenomenal. So that's secret number one. Many of you were asking, does this work with bearish candles? Well, the answer is yeah, it does. That's the second secret, is the top of long day bearish candles often acts as a great resistance. These long day candles often retrace some before continuing lower. Now, if you think about it, you're going to be able to use these in many different ways. I'm going to show you some. But again, I'm just going to go pick a stock that you guys want me to look at. So pick a stock for me. Any stock. What do you guys want to look at? John was the first person to type in TLT. Interesting. John wants to go look at the bonds. Okay. Let's go look at bonds, shall we? So TLT. I'm going to go look at, and TLT actually had a credit spread on this one expiring just the other day. So TLT, here we go. And looking at the average candle on TLT, just the everyday average candle, would you guys say that this is a long day bearish candle? It's pretty much a big, pretty large candle, right? The rest are pretty average size. You can just look at the chart and kind of pull it up. Same thing with a bullish candle, right? This one would be a long day bullish candle. This one would certainly be a long day bullish candle right there. There's not many long day candles in here, realistically. You have a few, but not many. TLT, as you can see, it does gap every single day. So there's a lot of gaps on TLT, and that means something specifically. And we'll look at another example as well. But the long day bearish candle is indicating a resistance. Right? Long day bearish candle, the open of a long day bearish candle. Again, you're going to get that retracement. You're going to get that pullback and that retest. When you're using these candles, another big takeaway is these candles can help you draw your support and resistance lines. Huh? Just think about that. So these candles can help you draw your support and resistance line. So if you see a nice long day bearish candle, you use that candle, draw your resistance line, check that out. Look at how well that worked. It's a beautiful, beautiful resistance. Bill says stop out 4 days later. Depends on where you place your stop. I agree, and it also depends on what strategy you use, Bill. If you did a bear call spread up here somewhere based on that resistance, you would not have gotten stopped out. If you bought, longer term puts or something, and your stop was above this peak, because we can see the stock has, or this particular ETF has broken above that resistance once before, only to roll over again. Right, so it's all about patterns. If it did it once, it would probably do it a second time, which is exactly what occurred. Right, so it's all about using patterns and seeing, again, looking at the candlesticks and saying, hey, what happened last time at this exact same location, this exact same price, and getting a determination. So based on TLT and looking at this particular chart, is it a good time to start looking or considering for a long play or a short play? Long play is the answer. Yeah, we're about to come into a support. That is correct. Is it that simple? Is trading really that easy? Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's give me another stock. Someone else pick another company. Chaz says Intel, INTC. Intel is a beautiful one. So INTC, I'm just looking at this candle right here. That's going to appear to be a long day candle. There's your support based on that candle, and here's pretty much a long day bearish candle right there. Long day bearish candle, long day bullish candle, and there's your channel on Intel. This little pink line, by the way, this was a line that me and some traders in my afternoon trading room, my swing trading room, I was mentioning that this is where you would buy Intel. And the reason I mentioned that is because it was based on that long day candle right there. And that little green box, I was like, well, it would make sense that Intel would drop a little bit lower and bounce because it's a support. So that would be where you would look to get in long on Intel. Let's go back in time a little bit. Intel, let's go back some. Back it up, back it up. Just going to keep scrolling the chart back a little bit so we have an idea of what we're looking at. So this is a very good example of a long day candle that has a lower shadow. Right, you got one right here. Fantastic little area. So look at the candle, look at the volume. Big bullish candle, definitely a long day candle, and you could use that candle to draw, right, your support and resistance lines. Look how well that candle, just that one singular candle, not using anything else on the screen, how phenomenal it reacted in the future to the stock. Isn't that sweet? Man, that is so powerful. Because again, you can just draw your support resistance lines based on these magnificent candles, and using the candles, the long day candle, right? You have, you have a support zone around here. You have an earnings, right? You old resistance, support. And again, using that candle, this particular one over here, you could use all kinds of different strategies, bull put spreads, put sales, things like that. Wally says, sorry, to body or to the end of the wick? The open, right? The open of that candle is the support zone. But you can use the wick for, the wick is obviously not that massive. So support there. And if you're doing a spread or something, you'd probably go under the wick. Yeah. Alan says, how reliable is this for lower time frames? Very reliable. Very reliable. Okay, so that's Intel. Let's do one more stock really quick. NVIDIA. Okay, so a lot of you guys are asking on NVIDIA. NVDA. So NVIDIA, this is a really good example as well. I'm gonna go back even farther on NVIDIA. So here's NVDA. Right, here's some support resistance on NVIDIA. And again, let's just say this is so exciting, but is this a long day candle, yes or no? This big black one. The answer is yeah, of course it is, right? It's obvious. So if you had that candle, once you see this candle, you'd be able to draw support resistance from it just like that. And I mentioned, right, that most long day candles do retrace some. So here's a little bit of a retracement, and then here's a little bit of a drop. And obviously you get a little bit of a double bottom. So if you're going bearish, you probably get stopped out with that double bottom. But this candle still gives you a lot of insight, because after that breakdown and that beautiful, beautiful resistance right there, you're going to have a determination of if you're going bullish, this could be a great target, right? You'll notice how well it acts as a support resistance in the future, and it also corresponds very nicely with this candle as well on earnings. So these candles, again, based on, you can use them accordingly to support resistance and a few other things, kind of get an idea. It doesn't mean that just because you see a long day candle, you have to go bearish, right? That's not what it means at all, but it can be a phenomenal determination of what something should do and where it should do it at. A lot of you are asking about Forex. Yep, as mentioned, this works on any market. Forex, futures, cryptocurrencies, whatever. So here's an example of a long day candle right there. So nice long day candle, that's a bearish candle, good volume coming in. And notice if you were to have a support resistance level above here, right, something like that, very nice level. If you were taking that trade bearish, right, keyword if, spelled IF. Let's say you got into that trade bearish and this candle happens. That is also a long day bullish candle. Right? Long day bullish candle. So based on that particular candle with a close above this resistance. So remember, keep that in mind. If these candles represent support and resistances, if a stock closes past that level, if you get a close above or below that strong support, then that's going to be a good indication of a reversal. Because you have a strong support and resistance. So if you're looking at a candlestick, remember, it's all about the sentiment. That's what's the big takeaway here. How do long day bearish candles get formed? How do they get formed? How does this candle get created? You have a lot of people selling, right? So if you have tons and tons and tons of people selling, and then the stock gets above that high, or if we close above that level, there will be some sellers who are trapped. It's just that simple. You will have people who have gone bearish, who are still holding the stock bearish, and they're going to be trapped, and they're going to need to be buying to cover. Yeah, pretty interesting. So we're going to be looking at some more real-life examples. I'm getting so many questions. This is phenomenal. You guys are crushing this. I love it. Here's another secret. We're going to talk about something called wicked pair candles. The wicked pair candles. Richard, that's a phenomenal question, man. That's a lot of questions. I don't think I'm going to have a chance to answer all of them. If you don't mind emailing me that question or those questions to Jerremy@reallifetrading.com. Richard, I'll shoot you my email in the chat pane. And I'll give you, again, plenty of other time in the end of the discussion to answer some questions as well. Let's talk about a name of a pattern that you will not find anywhere else on the internet because I created it. This does not exist in any textbook. The only time that you probably heard about this live is right now. It's called the wicked pair candle. That's just the name. That's just the name. We're going to talk about the sentiment of this particular candlestick pattern because someone earlier, I think Bill, says many times you get 2 or 3 of these candles in a row with little or no body overlap. Yeah, so let's talk about that right now because you're 100% correct. So this is secret number 3, something called wicked pair candles. You have a bearish wicked pair and you have a bullish wicked pair. So this is what they look like right here. 2 candles back to back. 2 candles back to back, and you guys are probably picking up on already some of the similarities, but let's talk about those similarities right now. In a bullish wicked pair candle, you'll see that the entry is green, the exit is red. Those are the lines. That's where you get in and where you get out. You have 2 back-to-back bullish candles. These 2 candles open, the second candle opens lower than the close of the first candle. Okay? So the second candle opens lower than the close of the first candle. So notice this line right here, right? This is the close. And the next day, the stock gaps all the way down here, which is kind of a bearish gap. But the second day or second time frame, whatever time frame you're using, the second candle gets bought up and trades higher and closes bullish. So even though you get that bearish gap from first day to second day candle, it actually ends with bullish buying pressure. That is a strong sentiment. Both candles are usually almost the exact same size, and the high of the second candle is the exact same or lower than the high of the first candle. All right, so the high of the second candle is the exact same or lower than the high of the first candle. Ryan says inside bar. Bingo. Going to get to that in just a little bit. So if you're looking at getting in, entry is above the high of the first and second candle. Stop is below the candles. And Tim Stout was mentioning this earlier. Me and Tim have traded together before in the past. This pattern works best when used in the same direction of the trend. So if the trend is bullish and you see this particular candle pattern, it's a really good pattern to go and to continue the trend. If you're in a bearish trend, you probably don't want to use this candle specifically. You can. It could be a good reversal pattern, but again, it works a lot. Just like most trading strategies, it works very well in the direction of a trend. So if it works bullish, it's going to work bearish. Same exact principles, except different colors. Again, think about the sentiment. Remember, I was mentioning that, the language of the charts. If you have a bearish candle, trades down, 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 and then the next morning or the next day, you have this gap up that should be a bullish gap, but then trades down again, a second time, another bearish candle. You have those bearish traders who are really serious and they want the stock to go lower. Robert says, is the exit the stop loss? Yes, sir. You got it. So those two bearish candles back to back, right? Very similar. The low of the second candle is the exact same or higher than the low of the first candle. The high of the second candle is not super important. And again, as Ryan mentioned earlier, the second candle can be an inside day candle. We're going to talk a little bit about inside day candles, but again, this pattern works best when used in the same direction of the trend. So let's go check some stuff out really quick. Let's go look for those. And the cool part about this particular setup is they are kind of rare, but we're on NVIDIA and I've already just found one. So here's one on NVIDIA right here. This is not perfect. It's not textbook. And I say textbook loosely because this pattern's not in any textbook. But this particular candle, right, so they're almost the same size. These two candles are. The second candle did open lower than the first candle's close. Not by much, but it did, right? So this candle closed at 22.30, and this candle opened at 22.25. So you got a nickel of a gap. This second candle is an inside day candle, right? So that means that the entire range is within the range of the previous day. And your entry, as noted, would have been here, and your stop would have been right there. And not to mention what ends up happening a little bit later, womp, womp, womp. You get a nice long day bullish candle that does what, ladies and gentlemen, the next day? It retests. Yes, it retests. Bill says, does inside candle include wick? Yes, it has to. It has to, because the wick, Bill, indicates both the high and the low. So to be an inside candle, the high and the low has to be within the high and the low of the previous day. So yes, wicks are very important when looking at candles. Absolutely. So that's one wicked pair candle. Someone give me another stock. Actually, someone give me a stock, and then someone give me a year. Adriano says Boeing. Okay, so we got Boeing. What's a year for Boeing? What year do you guys want to go look at? First person type it in. 2012 says Cam. All right, 2012 for Boeing. Let's go back to 2012. And again, this is the daily chart. And we're just going to go look at these, look to see if we can find some wicked pair of candles in 2012 and kind of extrapolate their data and figure out how they would have worked. Okay, so first thing I'm pulling up, I'm noticing this bullish long day candle, right? Nice bullish long day candle. As mentioned earlier, that should be a very good support. Notice when the stock closes below that very good support, what happens? Stock reverses, right? Trade goes lower. So as mentioned, extrapolate this data to go, okay, well, that makes sense. Here's this long day bearish candle right here. Oh, I just found a wicked pair. Long day bearish candle, stock trades down, stock retests, and then rolls over. Okay. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on my screen. Just give me a quick second because there's a lot of wicked pair candles in here actually. Here's one right here. There we go. There's your wicked pair of candles right there. Two bearish candles back to back. Notice they're the same color. Notice they're the same size. Here's a true or false question. True or false? Would that pattern have triggered? Did it go lower than the low of those two candles? No, it did not. Not a bad thing. Cool. All right, that's good to know. So the reason I really like this pattern is because it very often does not trigger in the wrong direction. Very often, because of all the pressure that ends up happening, all the buying and selling pressure that occurs. So your entry would have been right there, and it just simply would not have triggered in. Now, here's another wicked pair candle pattern right there. Did that wicked pair candle pattern trigger? Oh yeah. Mark says, why are they wicked? Because they're wicked cool. That's pretty much it. I don't know. Just want to come up with a fun name that is easily memorable. So your entry could have been here. Stop would have been there. Nice little trade. Johnny, very good question. Johnny says, isn't that a bullish wicked pair candle near the first long day example you showed right here? So that's a very good question. So here's your second candle, and the answer is no. Who can tell me why? Yeah, the size of the candles, right? So they have to be about the same exact size. Exactly. Very good. You guys are doing phenomenal. Now, this pattern right here, so these two are very close, if not a wicked pair candle. Did that one trigger? Would that one have triggered? And the answer is, again, no, right? You would not have gotten into that trade bullish because it did not make a higher high, right? It didn't break above the highs of the candles, as we were mentioning. Let's go see if I can find some more. So I'm going to go forward a little bit. Again, I could have easily scanned for these, but I just want to use some examples that you guys are looking. So what I'm doing right now is I'm scanning with my eyes. And I'm probably going to miss some, but I won't miss many. Dun, 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 dun. Looking for some patterns. Yeah, they don't happen all that often. Some really good candle patterns in here, though. So many things we could talk about. So many gaps. Nilesh says, when it does not trigger, can we take the opposite side of the trade? If you get a good candle or a good close, sure. Absolutely. In fact, since you're talking about it, Nilesh, let's look at a phenomenal reversal pattern that does occur with these candlestick patterns. So if you ever get some wicked pair candles, here's your bonus secret, right? This is like secret number 4 at this point. If you get this gap, right, where you have two wicked pair of candles, and again, as Nilesh mentioned, if it does not trigger, right, it doesn't break down, but in fact, it actually gaps the next day. That is a very strong bullish gap. And then it becomes even stronger if the bullish candle opens above the high of both candles. I mean, you see that. Woo, doggy. We're talking real powerful. Now, at this point, since we're discussing gaps, as you likely know, gaps don't really occur on 24/7 markets like cryptos, Forex, and some futures. So that is going to kind of, peel off some of the markets, but the sentiment is the same. If you do find some good gaps, usually these type of gaps, these type of moves are on higher time frames because stocks shouldn't gap that much on the 5-minute chart, right? Eddie says, do you have to be careful of a gap fill? An example like this, no. Just place your stops, Eddie. Because being careful just simply means having your stop in place. Here's the facts of trading, ladies and gentlemen. Everything works, just not all the time. I could give you 100 million strategies today. We would be here until June of 2047, but I could give you strategy after strategy after strategy after strategy, all based on candlestick patterns. Every single one of them, just candles. But everything works, just not all the time. William says, does the second bar's open work better, more momentum, if it opens near the open of the first bar? Great question, and yes, that's the point of the wicked pair. Yep, you're absolutely right. So that usually happens if you're going to get the momentum. The more similar they are in shape and size, the better they will work. It's a great question, William. So the answer to the question is yes. So this is a very strong type of gap. John says, do you use indicators as confirmation with your candle setups? No, I do not. I just use the candles. There's no such thing as confirmation. Nothing is ever confirmed. It just is. You have the trades, lose less money than you make. That's a mathematical formula, my friends, to how you make money in the stock market. That's all you need to know. That is your math. Lose less money than you make, and you will be profitable. Baidu says, in stock market where gap is not allowed while market opens, what kind of candlestick should be used as a gap up? I mean, at that point, you're just going to be using your long day candles, right? You're going to be using your strong candles as your really good signals. So the initial candles we talked about, the long day bullish and long day bearish, still work very well in candles that do not gap. William says, do you have a scanner for these inside day candles? I personally do not have a scanner, but there are many, many scanners out there that can be used. Here's another, the exact opposite example, just in reverse. So your bearish gap and go. So candle color is quite important for this pattern. Again, same thing except in reverse. So you have white candles gapping down. So you had a bullish wicked pair candle, should have continued higher, but you get a bearish candle that gaps down and opens below the low of both previous white candles. That is a very strong candlestick pattern. It's a very strong gap. And that increases dramatically the odds that this bearish trend continues. So, unbelievable, it's already been 46 minutes, right? Unreal. Let's go look at some real life examples. Huh? Real life? Huh? Huh? Let's go check out some real life examples really quick. KK, I apologize, but I won't have time to go back to that. Let's go look at CSX. I'll just repeat what secret number one was. Secret number one is that long day candles act as great support. So here's a long day bullish candle right there. That's secret number one. What did the long day candle do, ladies and gentlemen? As mentioned in secret one, it retested. All right, there's the retest. That's your buying opportunity. Stop below that candle. Home run. Very good trade. Here's another long day bullish candle. Here's another long day bullish candle. Here's another long day bullish candle. That's a very good one right there. Here's another one. Look at how beautiful this acts as a support. This is painful. Look at that. Incredible buying opportunity as it trades down to that support. So good. Also, here's a wicked pair candle pattern right there. It's a very good bullish one. That one works nicely. Entry there, stop there. Good little pop. So let's go. So this is recent times right here on CSX. And the reason I wanted to pull this up is right here. What do you guys think? Is this a long day bearish candle? Yes or no? And the answer is yes. That is a long day bearish candle. So now you'll have a resistance on CSX. So at this particular point, you could literally have a line that says, okay, here's my resistance on CSX. Does that mean that you have to go bearish here? No. But that can give you an idea of if the stock breaks through that price, then the trend will continue higher. That could also mean if you're in shares and you're looking for a place to sell covered calls, you would do it above this candle. Adriano says it doesn't work on a weekly chart. Of course. So these two candles right here, what would these two candles be called? Very good pattern right there on CSX, by the way. Incredible. Yeah, that's your wicked pair. Yeah, cool, right? That's your wicked pair candle right there. Entry, stop. On a very boring stock too, like CSX. What a move. What a move. I mean, that's a solid gain right there. And check out where this occurs, by the way. I don't know if you guys looked at this, but look at that. Long day bullish candle. That's secret number one. Did it act as a support? Why, yes, it did. Phenomenal. Woo! That was so good. Bill says the candle has to complete before using. If you're looking at whatever time frame you're looking at, yes, you want the candle to complete. Otherwise, you won't know what the candle looks like. All right? So if it's on a daily chart, yeah, you got to wait for the whole day, because I've heard that the market can move drastically in the last 5 to 15 minutes of the day, changing everything. I mean, guys, truly phenomenal questions, incredible engagement. I do apologize if I can't get to all of your questions. I will provide opportunities to answer all of your questions, though. Sandra says, seems like an engulfing candle. It is. This candle is an engulfing candle, but it's also a wicked pair. It matches both definitions. Scott says, so the second candle in the bar can actually slightly engulf. Yep, it can engulf. That's totally okay. Right? As long as the open is below the close of the prior day, they're both white. They both have approximately the same high. John says, what time frame do you trade? Daily and hourly? Yep, I do trade both the daily and the hourly. Love those patterns. Scott says, are there anything such as a wicked trio? The more the merrier. Sure. Why not? Here's another bearish wicked pair right here. There's your bearish wicked pair candle. Here's another long day pattern. As a support, that candle right there. Here's a long day. Oh my goodness. Look at this long day bearish candle, guys. Come on. What a phenomenal support that resistance became. Woo! Look at that. I mean, this candle alone, all I did was draw a line based on that candle. And look how well it syncs up. It's so easy, I feel like. I feel like if you can learn candles, you understand why this is happening. Trading really is not that difficult. I mean, mathematically, just lose less money than you make. That's all you have to do. Just lose a little bit less money than you make. Walmart has one. Here's your example, WMT. So Walmart, this has a, first of all, let's ask the obvious question. Is this a bullish long day candle? Yes or no? Yes, it is. What did it do, ladies and gentlemen? It retraced. I could find examples on every single stock. It doesn't matter. Every ETF, crypto, I can find them everywhere. Here's your strong support, nice little retest, and a beautiful continuation higher. So these two candles that are happening right now, these are both wicked pair candles. They're not super strong because the second candle doesn't really have a good body. There's no real body to it. But if Walmart were to gap up on Monday, then yeah, that would be a pretty strong move, right? It would be a bullish gap, as we've talked about. Or if it continues lower, as you notice these little green triggers right here, it says quick intraday trade for those who are not already in. So that's another example. And I will say, I unfortunately do have to leave some time for some other presenters because we got one right around the corner. Unbelievable that 52 minutes has already gone by, right? Can you guys believe that? 52 minutes has already gone by. So, I mean, we're getting questions, hundreds of questions every 60 minutes, 60 seconds. I'm so enthralled. Thank you for your energy, folks. This is amazing. Amazing. So let's talk about if you want to get all of your questions answered and you want to trade with me for an entire week. Does anybody want to do that with an entire week? And a whole week of trading with me, day, by hour by hour. Join the trading room with me. That's going to be my pitch for the end of this presentation. I only do this 2 times a year. I only do this 2 times a year. I'm not a very good businessman, but I'm an incredible trader. William says, how long per day? Until your fingers fall off. Usually, William, is how long I go. But it's 9 to 2 Eastern and then 5 to 6 Eastern. I'm going to put in the chat pane. I have your link. I'm sure it'll also be emailed out, and you also can get copies of all the information from the webinar today. But go to reallifetrading.com, and there's a banner. January 22nd, folks, this is Saturday, which means literally Monday of next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all week long, here's what we're going to be doing together for free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to cost me a lot, but it's not going to cost you anything. I have a morning room and I have an afternoon swing trading room. All right. So the day trading room goes from 9 a.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. We trade live during the market hours. You're going to receive exact entries and exits with text alerts. We look at the stocks that you pick, not just the ones that I want to see. We day trade gaps, momentum plays, stocks, weekly options. We have 24/7 chat. I trade options all the time, Robert, so both of them are just totally fine. If you liked what you saw today, guys, this was 52 minutes. 52 minutes. I do this stuff for like 6 hours a day. Every single day we're trading the markets. I'm looking at what you want to look at. I'm helping you pick out where to buy the retest, where to buy the breakout, where to buy the move. I'm going to do my absolute best to answer any and all of your questions there live. And I also am giving you access to the afternoon swing trading room, which is from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I record it every single day, and I email out the recording. We focus on buying stocks, selling options, earnings plays, gaps, momentums, all that stuff. Al says, what? Yes, this is free. Literally going to give this to you for free the entire week, both the morning and afternoon room. All I want you to do is just be there. Tell your friends, tell anyone that you know that's excited about investing. My goal for the company is to enrich lives. I want to do my absolute best to ensure that you become a profitable trader. I want to help you grow. I want to help you create a trading plan. I want to help you get better with your strategies. I'm going to be right there alongside of you, trading with you, helping you all week next week. So many exciting things. Dopey says, wonderful, because I work nights. Yes, I email the whole thing. So it doesn't matter what time you work. It doesn't matter how long you work. I will be sending out recordings. I will give you so much information, you probably will be upset with me. William said, do you do futures? Yeah, of course. Ryan says, I'm a Forex trader. Can I still benefit? I can look at Forex, Ryan. I can chart and trade anything, man. I think we got 4 minutes, Marissa. If that's correct, let me know. Here's any questions, comments, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints. William says, recording of AM sessions or PM sessions. I record the AM sessions once a month for just to help traders learn. If you think about it, William, there's no real strong benefit in recording day trading sessions and then sending them out the next day because the day trading is already, over with. So I record the PM sessions every day, but the morning sessions once a month. Chandra says, great presentation. Thank you, Chandra. I appreciate it. Bill says, how do we get the replays of all the Wealth 365 talks? I'm sure they will be emailed to you. You'll be hearing from the 365 team. And yeah, just keep an eye on your inbox. Charles says, this is awesome. Jerry says, when do I sign up? Today, sign up right now. The link is in their chat pane. The same place that you just chatted. Click on that link that I just sent. Literally free. It starts Monday. Today is Saturday. So 2 days from now, I'm rocking out the world. This was perfect timing. I only do this twice a year. And I'm serious about that. I only do this twice. The next time you're going to get a chance to do this again will be 6 months from now. James says, I'm already signed up. Ahmed says, how much does it cost after? Less than your cell phone bill, Ahmed. Less than your cell phone bill. Carolyn says, great job, Jeremy. You're the best. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate it. Faith says, Jeremy, it's great yet again. Thanks. Phenomenal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I truly appreciate being here this morning. I know that went by fast. It always does. I have so much information to share with you regarding candlesticks, regarding trader psychology, regarding how you can mentally prepare for the market, regarding creating a trading plan. I want to enrich lives all the world over. And I want you there to help me. If you're there, you can tell other people, you can let them know that Real Life Trading is here to provide people a true helping hand to overcome the fears of trading the stock market. Ladies and gentlemen, you're incredible. I will see you all Monday, 48 hours from right this exact second. 48 hours. We begin. Actually, 47 hours. 47 hours. I'll see you there, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.
All right. Thanks so much, Jeremy. That was a really great presentation to get us all energized this morning. So we appreciate you being here. That was awesome. So let's move on. All right. So before we get into our next presenter, again, I just want to talk about our news site here. It's news.wealth365.com. Jeremy actually is one of our contributors. He sends us exclusive videos about the market, some markets that you need to know during the week, and you can come here. They're under our Wealth365 exclusives, and you can see these videos. They're really great. He provides awesome information that, again, you want to know, that you need to know. So definitely come and check these out. Among other great contributors that we have, again, this Wealth365 exclusive section, all of these great videos and articles that you won't be able to see anywhere else online. They are only here. So check them out. We also, under the contributor research section, have other articles and videos from some of your favorite Wealth365 presenters. Definitely check out this. This is also really great information, some pivotal research and strategies and tips